Thanks, Brian. It is not a playground there in Washington, D.C., so why are those two kids playing on a memorial to our vets? Some say it's offensive, other think, well, just kids being kids. Join us right now. We showed you this picture yesterday. Join us right now is the photographer and veteran who took that photo, Matthew Munson. He joins us today from Cleveland. Good morning to you, Matthew.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay, so Saturday you were there at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. You were taking images of all sorts of things because you're an aspiring photographer, and you're there at the Vietnam Women's Memorial when you saw this. Explain what happened.
I was circling the memorial first, trying to get good shots, and then as I was adjusting my camera, that's when some kids came over and they kind of were dancing around it, and they were just looking up at it. And I didn't think much of it at first, and then that's when I heard laughter from behind them, and who I assume are their parents, came over, helped the kids on top of the statue, and they were still laughing because the kids were more playing than actually trying to get a pose. And it was very cheerful, everybody was happy and smiling. It was very awkward, especially for what the statue is.
Sure, because the statue is a wounded warrior being tended to by two female nurses there in the military. What's very telling is, and you can see in the background, you see that one woman in the red walking by. When we look at the image full screen, you can also see a veteran, apparently a veteran in a hat, being pushed in a wheelchair by somebody else, and they seem to be very quiet and grimacing at that image.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. There's a lot more people over to the left of the frame, and they were all kind of glaring and putting the pressure on the parents who were seemingly oblivious to it all. And as the veterans are actually, they circled around the entire memorial as the kids were still playing on it, and it was hard to watch, and I really do regret not saying anything and speaking up.
What would you have said to the parents?
I am happy I got the photo, first of all, but after I did take the photo, I wish I would have went up to them and asked them if they could explain to the kids the significance of that memorial, what it means to a lot of people.
Sure. Matthew, now's your chance. Maybe the parents or the kids are watching. What would you have said? Because you feel it's inappropriate as a veteran for those kids to be using that monument as a jungle gym.
I do. I think, as many people argue, that a lot of people are trying to have fun. They'd rather see kids play on memorials, but I'd rather, as a veteran, see parents educate their kids about the sacrifices veterans made. I'd rather see that, and I wouldn't mind kids playing anywhere else either. It's not a bad thing.
Sure. I mean, when kids are out, you know, those are just kids being kids. But one of the common things we had on our online site yesterday when we posted this image was, where were the parents? You know, the kids can be kids, but the parents should make this a teachable moment and say, that simply is not the place to be doing that.
It really wasn't just kids being kids. The parents were there. The parents were heavily influencing their kids to have fun on the memorial. It wasn't just random kids lost from their parents and just trying to have a good time. When I was a kid, I was very energetic and I was a bit of a hellion, but my parents wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah, your parents, just like my parents, would have said, okay, Matthew, Steve, get off of that. That's inappropriate. I think, growing up at my house, at least. All right, probably at your house as well. All right, Matthew Munson served in the Marine Corps. Photographer took that picture. Joining us today from Cleveland. Sir, thank you very much for your service and joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you all.